Oh, there we go. My bad, I forgot about that. So for the electrical update, just a few things to say. We've been making lots of progress on the ground station. Most recently, we just got kind of our bottom pivot axis put together, which is going to be a tracking antenna that's going to track that Hadoop balloon, the big antenna, so we can stream data from it live. And with that, we've also been working with our Raspberry Pi, which is going to control all that. And it was a good day today for AXP Ground Station. And we've had problems recently with communication with the people that we were purchasing an antenna from, and also for our other electrical payload, the Global Star Radio. They've just been not the best at getting back to us in a timely manner, even though they have a very expensive piece of equipment of ours trying to update it. Slightly worrying, but hopefully those will both be back to us by the end of the week, and we will no longer be blocked there. Something else that we found out today when we were working on some batteries, they discharge very quickly, especially when you use zinc straps or zinc strips to account for high current discharge batteries. And I ended up with, I don't know if you guys can see it, or you probably don't want to see it. I just have very severe burns on two of my fingers um, from a battery heating up far too fast when I did not think about what I was doing. And just another thing to take note of, um, during that high altitude balloon launch, we're planning on having a public website that's going to display all the data that we can that we're receiving live at that moment. And that's going to be bigredsat.org/API. And I'm not sure if that page has been created yet, but we're going to slowly be making changes to it and adding stuff to it. So check it out every now and then. Um, I'm not sure, MJ, did you get a chance to make that a page today?
Nope.
Okay. Well, it'll be happening sometime in the future, and we'll go from there. But anything else anyone has to report for electrical? No? All right. Oh, one last other thing. We've been working with the radiation sensors, and we just recently purchased a $5 radiation source from eBay. Slightly nerve-wracking, but hopefully we're going to be able to use that to calibrate our radiation sensors, although spending $5 to buy a radiation source from eBay is slightly concerning. But it should be a lot of fun along the way, right? We're just worrying. All right, John.
The mechanical team has unfortunately not been able to buy knockoff radiation on eBay, but we have been doing other fun stuff like truss testing. A couple weeks ago, we had a drop test and a hanging weight test to simulate the force that our truss would feel upon impact when it hits the ground and when the parachute deploys. From that, we got a lot of really good information about what we need to fix. The two main areas that we focused on at this last week's meeting were landing gear and the joints between the truss and the payloads. For the landing gear, we started exploring shock absorbers. So we were initially looking at like literally just having metal springs, but due to the fact that those are hard to calibrate and like they exist in the perfect dimensions very rarely online, and also one of the payloads has an XP antenna sticking out the bottom that makes it difficult to mount a spring. We instead decided to move into plastic shock absorbers instead. What we're doing is kind of hard to describe. I should have put a picture in there, but it's like basically like little. Well, we have several designs. One of them is like little J legs like that. The other one's kind of a squiggle, looks like a little bit like a recurved bow, and then the other one is also kind of a squiggly shape. We're planning to print those out and start testing them in the next week or so that we can get a good idea of what works and what doesn't. Then for the 3D printed parts that we're revising, we're exploring a couple different solutions. One that Casey made is it's hard to describe, but it basically, instead of having the two horseshoes around the payload, you just have like one side of it, and then you just tape the styrofoam cooler to the clamp. And then Shazia made another one where you put metal wire inside a 3D printed part, and that makes it stronger. And then we also fixed one of the clamps just to fill it more and give it more surface area on that one surface where it tends to shear. Also, in addition to all the work we've been doing, our welder, Ryan, at Innovation Campus is currently in the process of making our second truss. So sometime in the next couple of weeks, we should have that, and then we can do more drop tests. Anything I missed there? Cool. I think that's all for mechanical then.
Awesome. All right. So I know Michael didn't fill in the special systems update, but is someone able to kind of give an update?
Yeah, Mikey sent me the stuff so I could
Awesome.
give the presentation. Okay, so for special systems, we came up, bad words, but we altered the heating pads while we were thinking about altering them, because the ones that we have, they're not the best, but they're all that's there for all different sources. So we're going to make it work. We're going to put them in parallel. So there's 4 times the power through the pads. And then we're thinking of adding passive heating elements to reduce the heat loss. So we're talking about insulation, space blankets, possibly hand warmers, and then painting the outside of the coolers black to absorb the heat. And the insulation, we were talking to Aaron about using the, what's it called? The caulk of it, the one that they usually use to like seal off corners in areas. And I think he was looking at how to adjust for the space for that, et cetera and so forth. And then we're also waiting for the next thermal test, because yeah, last night it was just too late to start at that point. And then the next one, we just kind of split up the tasks between for the payload between all of us. So like today, I finished building the laser. I mean, it broke in half after someone dropped it, but I glued it back together. And I feel like everything else about the shells have been glued, but the laser works. And I tested it with the color sensor, and it's definitely blue light, quite blue. So that's good. John is gonna set up and test the magnetometer magnet test. It's been like a day, so that's fine. Aaron is figuring out how to save arrays, lists, data, T&Cs, and then we're also thinking of redesigning the shells to allow for the insulation material, because it's the it might expand a bit, the foam that they use. So we have to check that out. And then Nick and Mikey are figuring out timing for the sensors. And then right now, going forward, all the sensors work separate from each other, like by themselves. We can test all 3 of them, and all 3 of them are good. Not together, but we're working on that as well. Once Nick and Mikey are good on letting the sensors time out, then we can assemble the code for the entire payload, and then finalize that, and then solder it, and then do more tests, and then we should be good. Yes, that should be it. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. And just not much else to cover here. So other current objectives, of course, election stuff. I know I already mentioned that, but just a reminder, please sign up to attend that election meeting. It's on April 1st, and you do have to RSVP for it. That's specifically for the General Aerospace Club elections. And for the AXP team, we're also planning on having elections in the future. We don't know that exact date yet. I think the plan is to wait till after the HILE to do balloon launch, since we're going to have a ton on our plate until then. So kind of at the very end of the year, have those elections. But if you guys are interested in running for any sort of officer position, taking up some more responsibility, if you have any sort of inkling of like wanting to do that, let us know, and we'll kind of talk to you about what we think is available and what you think, or what we think you could be good at, and we can kind of have that discussion. Just so we know that that's something you're interested in. And then I think, like MJ mentioned, there's shirts for wearing and also polos for wearing. If you don't have yours, pick it up. Or if you're wanting one, because they are quite cool, and especially if we attend formal events, it's going to look really nice if we all have our sharp polos on. Let MJ know, and we'll see what we can do from there. Anything to add there? Okay. So the main thing, there's kind of midterms around here. Get vaccinated for COVID if you can, and then for every build day, we'd like everyone to get a test that week, just to try and reduce, the chance of anything happening when it comes to, spreading COVID to any of the kids, because something like that happens, probably just going to be shut down for the rest of the year. So just want to take all the precautions we can with that.
Just to double check, this is probably a silly question. If we have gotten vaccinated, we still should get tested, right?
It's always good to be safe. Yeah.
Okay,
we-
I just wanted to make sure so that I don't show up without a test and I can't come. I just want to make sure that I do it right. Okay.
Absolutely. And in a couple weeks, we might reconsider or kind of change how we are dealing with this too. So we'll just have to keep in good communication with everyone. All right. Well, I think that's all I have for today's meeting. Does anyone else have anything else? Progress updates, just generally cool things to share.
We did talk about potentially moving the general meeting day if people were interested in that. Like, until basically the Hab launch, we're gonna be having build days from 10 to 4-ish with the kids, and then having to do like a general meeting after that. Like, it's just pretty tight, and if everybody is like coming to the build days and stuff like that, then like there wouldn't be really much need for much update, I think. I don't know what you guys think about any of that. People be open to that idea, changing the day, or
Yeah, I'd be open to that.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
okay. Probably just send out a when to meet poll in Slack then, and figure it out the huge. Did everybody? I don't know. I know I missed the first like 10 minutes, so hopefully you guys already did this, and I'm just like way behind on the trend. But like, did everybody introduce themselves and like stuff like that? Like, welcome the new people on the call. Yes? No? Yes, we did that? Okay, good. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do mine then, I guess. My name is
Yeah.
Emily.
And we specifically said, things we did outside because of the weather today.
Nothing. We're stuck in Innovation Campus all day. My name is MJ. I am a sports media and communications major. I do a lot of the non-engineering stuff, run social media, website, etc. If any of that interests anyone, be so happy to talk to someone about it. So just let me know. But yeah, XP Super Dece.
Right. Well, if we don't have too many more updates or any more updates, I haven't slept in like 40 hours, so I'm gonna go head to bed for a while.
Yeah, it's a good idea, Joel. Please do that.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna stop the recording and then post it